Good Saturday morning, faithful. Let's get into it. Hope you brought a cup of coffee and let's get talking. We're going to start the show out like we always do, or like we try to do. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. Let's talk a little bit of 49er football. If you stick around, you might hear one of my dad jokes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Been working on that. I get a kick out of it. So, we'll give everybody a joke this morning. It's at the bottom. If you care to read it, I can read it out loud too if you can't see it. It's, why didn't the dog want to play football? He was a boxer. Yep. So that's my dad joke in the morning. We'll give you one before we leave too. I'm gonna also put this down in a few minutes. So the title of the thumbnail is kickers, of course. That's the one thing that I think we need the most. I think that's one of the biggest issues we have right now. When you sign a kicker who was injured the year before, but you don't have to pay for him, you don't have to pay for him, right? So maybe Zane's good. Maybe he's ready to go. He was pretty good before he got hurt, but after he got hurt, it's you're never the same. It's like if you're a quarterback and you get your arm hurt, you're not the same. You get your legs taken from you when you're a kicker, you're not the same. So I have a lot of hope for the guy, but I think they're taking the chance with him because they don't have to pay for him. So it's not hurting him. The only thing he's taking up right now is a locker space, camp space. He's a camp leg. And maybe he's not. Maybe he'll be the real deal. And you'll see me wearing his jersey a year from now. But at this point, I'd really like to see Robbie come back. And Damien, that's a good point, to bring in a younger leg. The only thing is I think this team is maybe 1 or 2 years from the Super Bowl, maybe removed from a quarterback. So with that, it's just the morning little girl coming in saying good morning. A stronger leg would be nice. Robbie can't necessarily kick it into the end zone. So for me, you can defend it, you can argue it. I think that's not necessarily the worst thing because if you can kick the ball relatively, the guy catches it in the 5 and our guys can get down there and stop him before they return it to the 25 or past that, then I think they're doing good. If you kick it into the end zone every time, then the team's going to down it. They're going to get it at the 25. Maybe there's a little bit more safe, maybe less concussions and stuff like that. But for me, I think it's a strategic thing that the Niners aren't kicking into the end zone. Now it's alarming and it's really upsetting when they run the ball 30 or 40 yards on us, but that was a blown coverage call. Maybe we had a player out there with a broken hand and a cast. Maybe he wasn't able to tackle. There's a lot of intangibles to that. But I think if they do bring Robbie Gould back, it's only going to be a 1 or 2 year deal. And it's just, to me, why isn't he signed yet? So he's not signed because he's either got someone else he's made an agreement with and they're waiting until after the draft. Maybe he's got a yard deal with the 49ers saying, hey, go ahead and get who you need to get in the draft and free agency. And if I'm still here, then we'll talk. So I definitely would like to see him come back, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Again, if he wants to be closer to his family, hey, more power to him. We have a lot of teams that need kickers. Not every one of them is going to go and get a kicker. Raiders need a kicker. Rams need a kicker. We need a kicker. Vikings need a kicker. Cowboys. I thought Jerry Jones was going to suit up for the Cowboys for kicking, but I guess they're still going to keep looking. The Colts, they might need a kicker. The Panthers, the Cardinals, the Commanders, the Jets, Tennessee, New England, and Jacksonville. So out of those teams, the one that I would see maybe making a push for a kicker in the draft would be the Patriots. It'd be a little bit weird seeing Robbie in a Patriot outfit, huh? That's just a thought, though. Good morning, David. Good morning, Damien. Thank you guys for showing up, everybody. I appreciate it. Good morning, Miss Gang. It's nice to see you. This is a very, very wonderful person I'm going to have on my show one day. Very knowledgeable about the faithful. Longtime 49er supporter. Longtime well, she's my friend, and she's my wife's aunt. So we're gonna definitely get her on, and when once she gets on the show, it's gonna be great because I have so many questions I'm gonna be able to ask her. Sometimes when you get around somebody that is as passionate about you with football or with a topic that you like, it's just so nice to be able to collaborate with because sometimes they know things that you don't know, and vice versa. So it's always fun to talk. Yeah, I just like talking to people that know about the Niners. So, but again, going back to the kickers and stuff, let me drop this banner here because I put out the ones that I'm thinking that for our draft, these are the top kickers in the league. And it's just an opinion, but and it's kind of hard to see it. So I'll start out from the top. When you see Jake Moody's name coming through, I put their names and then I put the school right behind it. I'll try to space that out a little bit better next time. But we have Jake Moody from Michigan. He might get taken first, or he might be the first kicker out of the board. Then we got Andre from Syracuse. We got Harrison from Missouri. Jack from San Diego. That one, I think he might be somebody to look for. We have Troy from Taylor, Iowa, and we have Adam from Rutgers. So every one of you don't know really what's the deal. They're a rookie. They could come in, they could be great. They could come in, they could have a confidence thing that they have to work through. It's hard. You don't know about rookies. That's why we have camp and we have practice, and hopefully we can get the kinks out then, and you can see if this guy's a stud or if this guy needs a little bit more time. So we got Bebop in the house. What's up, Bebop? Jeff's in the house. Hey, Jeff. And we got Boomer T, another guy, another big faithful fan who lives relatively close to me. I would love to have him on the show sometime and talk Niners. He's got a very, very strong opinion. I appreciate it because he's not necessarily somebody who you can't talk to. He'll listen to your opinion as well. And it's always fun seeing him in the chats with other groups and stuff. And one day I'll have to get a hold of you and have you come on the show and talk. But for now, I do think we need to get a kicker. Either just calm down a little bit and wait for the draft. And it's all about waiting at this point. A couple more days and we'll know, because in April's we're here, right? April 1st. So a couple more days we'll start drafting. And if the Niners draft a kicker, cool. If we get an undrafted free agent, that's okay. I think we do bring in another kicker, though. I think we bring in another kicker for camp. Even if it's not Robbie, I think we just bring another one in. So, and we also have my lovely wife who popped in right here. Good morning, Tony. Hope you're enjoying your coffee. And if you have a cup of coffee, this is the time of the day that we, anytime you drink coffee is fine. Some people drink it all day. I am just like waking up with a cup of coffee in the morning. It's nice to wake up with something warm in your hand. And, to you guys, thank you for coming. So my channel is relatively small, and we're starting out. So something fun is right now I'm currently at like 65 subs. I will be putting this on my Twitter soon, and I'll be putting it on my Facebook. When we get to 100, if you guys can screenshot me that you're subscribed, then we'll put you in a drawing, or somehow we'll figure this out. I'll reach out to another couple content creators who's done this in the past, but we will be doing a coffee cup giveaway. And if you guys are subbed, hey, you got a good chance of winning a cup. And then, as the channel grows, maybe we can do a hat or we can do something different. Hell, if you guys need a Pokemon card, I'll figure that out. But at this point, we're just trying to have fun, and we're building this slow. And I think the best way to start it out with would be with a coffee cup that me or my wife create. And it doesn't really matter where you guys live. We appreciate your support. We'll send it to you. So it could happen anytime. We're at 65 right now. I've been doing the channel for a little bit over a month. So we are growing, and I appreciate every one of you. All right. So Boomer T asked this question. He says, so is Gold totally done with us? See, I don't think he is, because if he was totally done with us, you think he'd be signed, or you think he would washed his social media, scrubbed it, something. And I just don't see him doing that at this point. I thought he said at the end of the season that they had unfinished business. And then this season happens and he's still not signed anywhere. I know he's probably upset, that they didn't win the Super Bowl, but I don't think he's ready to walk away from the team. I know he knows this team is very, very close. So unless he has some kind of backyard deal with another team, which is totally possible, he's not signed. And why isn't he signed? Is it because of his age? Is it because of his leg strength? Like, that probably could be it. His leg strength and his age. He is like the oldest 49er. I think he's even older than Kyle Shanahan. So it's one of those things. I feel he's coming back. Matt Barrow said a 50-50 chance. So I think he's coming back unless he can, like right here. Joey said it right here. Maybe he wants to go to Illinois, and that's a good point with the taxes. And I don't understand why. Maybe it's just because this is America and they don't want to jump in between states. But I don't understand why there isn't some kind of guideline, some kind of balance or adjustment when you are playing in New York compared to playing out here in California. The taxes are a little bit different. Or playing in Florida. You move to Florida and you don't have to pay taxes like that, or Texas. So let me hop in my buddy right here down below, Mr. McNiner, and we'll continue the show.
What's going on, buddy?
Thanks for coming. Hope you had a good breakfast and a cup of coffee.
Drinking coffee right now.
Awesome. Oh, hey, show off that cup real quick for me. So, people, when we do the cup giveaway, if this is something that you like, this is something that might be a giveaway. So when we hit 100, we will be giving a cup away, and I'll post the cup before we give it away so everybody can see it. And tell your friend, share with a friend. For me, it's a little funny. My wife, you guys see her logo is close. It's very similar to mine, and I did that on purpose. When I see my logo, I'm like, can automatically look and oh, that's my wife, right? Well, for a lot of 49er chats, if you see her, that's primarily because I subscribe to your channel in her phone. So when you see me, you usually get 2 subs because I'll grab my wife's phone and sub for her. She doesn't get on YouTube a whole lot, but I figure hey, if I can give somebody 2 subs, that's cool. My wife and me, we're not going to unsub. If there's a topic, it gets hot and we just don't, agree with it, we'll come back in a couple of days. Everybody has an opinion, and it's not everybody's cup of tea or cup of coffee, right? So how are you doing this morning, David?
Great. I'm reading your ticker on the bottom. Are those all kickers you've done research on?
Those are the top free agent kickers. I have done a little bit of research on them, and okay. I know I blended them all together too quickly, but really quickly, we have Moody, we have Andre from Syracuse, Harrison from Missouri, Jake from San Diego, who I would be really happy with if we was to get him. He's a California guy. Troy from Iowa, and we have Adam from Rutgers. So those are like potentially the top kickers that's coming out. So if we can land one of those guys, we're going to be okay. We'll be okay in the future. The only question with a rookie is the unknown. We don't know how he's going to perform when the light is bright, right?
Yes, that's true. Morning, Tony. Hey, it's Tommy Huxley. Yeah, then we got, who else is in the chat? I got to look.
We got Boomer T. We have Jeff. We have Tommy. We have No Border Sports. We have David Corona. We have Damian Lee up here. Let me see if I missed anybody. Joe E.
Don't forget about Bebop. Bebop Jones is up in here too. Yep.
We have Armando. Hello. And we got all kinds of people. This chat is fire today. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, Jeff Block and Jeff Block. Tell me if I'm saying your last name right, please. I like to say names right.
Yeah, Jeff was on the show last night with us on No Border Sports with Ryan. That was a fun show. Very fun. We started hitting a wall there, and then we started getting more and more people, and we went for a little bit longer. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, after I went to bed, I looked at that and it said 5 hours, 20 minutes. So y'all went for at least 20 more minutes after I went to bed. So
yes. Oh, we might have a visitor this morning. Sound effects incoming. Well, once again, we have Jon Jay in the chat. He's always great to see around. Ryan's in the chat, and we have what's Ryan saying? Brian, do you feel there's a chance we draft a kicker and wait for one of those guys to be USFA?
What is that? Well, they probably mean undrafted free agent is probably what he means.
Yeah, I think that's what he means too. Yeah, I totally think there's a chance we don't draft a kicker, especially if one of these guys aren't there and we see maybe best player available. Because right now, with us having Zane is that he's our backup, right? He's our option. He's supposed to be good if he's not hurt. So if he is good, then we don't really have to worry about a kicker, and we don't have to worry about paying a kicker. So it's one of those win-win situations. But I could definitely see us waiting to get an undrafted undrafted quarterback or kicker, because you don't really have to pay too much. And if they do really good, then hey, you're a genius. And if they don't, then hey, they're just a camp arm or kick arm, right? Kick arm, kick leg camp leg. I'm sorry, I was getting a message.
Yeah, we got 26 days till the draft starts, and not having a day 1 or 2 pick at this point, but I still think that we're going to trade up. I don't know if we actually have the cap space to do something like that, though. Right now, we might barely have enough cap space to sign, 6, maybe 7 rookies, the later guys. But this is all yet to be determined, yet to be seen. They could extend someone, drop their cap number, and then all of a sudden, we're trading way up and grabbing someone.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it's you don't know. We don't know just yet because we've been filling the holes in free agency, and we've gotten to a point where now it's the draft. So we're almost at that point where we could take best player available and get back to the Niners plan. Because once everybody left, we have to scramble really quick. We have to sign everybody to 1-year deals and stuff like that. So, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Everybody's speculating right now, and you just don't know. And there's all those trade talks, and everything's still out there. So, it's still a lot of fun. What would you think, David? Do you think we're drafting a kicker?
I honestly wonder. I mean, we did kind of give nothing for Gonzalez, and he, just a pick swap and a player that's essentially just giving up some, some spots on the board. That's all we're giving up there for him. And he was good in 2021, but then he had a groin injury that knocked him out in 2022.
Yeah.
So I believe inside of 50 yards, he was like 17 for 17, and then he was 3 for 5 outside of 50 yards. So that's reliable. But I don't think we're actually counting on him. I think they are going to bring in a rookie. I don't know if they're going to draft one or bring in an unrestricted free or undrafted free agent. And either way, they're going to bring in competition for him. So it's not just going to be him.
No, they can't. They can't just have him running, especially when he was hurt last season. We don't, there's no guarantee that he's going to be ready this season. So I definitely think he'll have competition, and I definitely think they'll bring in a camp leg to either battle it out, or they bring in a veteran, because again, this guy, they're not paying anything for him. So I don't even think it would hurt to keep him on the practice squad. I don't know if you could keep him on the practice squad and someone wouldn't come and snatch up on him, but what they could potentially maybe even put him on IR if the guy's not ready and they still believe in him that much. So maybe sign a free agent maybe for a year, and then maybe bring back I'm not going to say bring back Joey Slide. That's a bad idea. He was on our team a couple years ago, and he did okay, and then he missed that kick, and I don't want him back. So we'll just have to see. We'll definitely have to see.
Tommy brings up a good point. I do believe we're going to draft a safety, and to learn the defense and learn the league behind Gibson. I do believe we're going to do that, and he's going to get redshirted. I believe that we probably will at least draft one corner, just because we like to bring the young guys in, and we all still have no idea what Ambry Thomas is going to do. Hopefully Steve Wilkes brings out the best in him. But the edge thing, of course we're going to draft an edge. I mean, that's just that's just how it is. They're going to see someone with with upside, maybe someone that's really raw but has a lot of upside, and they'll take him. Because at this point, the players we have, it only makes sense to take guys like that and let those guys develop.
Yeah, see, I think that's a very good point, because when we do draft players and they're rookies, unless they're really, really blowing out practice and they're really showing the team, like, they don't start. We don't start rookies most of the time. So you have to be above the regular rookie. A regular rookie expectations for this team is they're going to get redshirted, and then they can be developed.
Yeah.
So good point. Very good point. Do you have any quarterbacks that you like in the draft so far?
Quarterbacks? I actually haven't been doing any research on that, because Kyle Shanahan said we're rolling with two guys, and right now we have two guys until Brock Purdy gets back. So at this point, I'm assuming that we're not going to be drafting a quarterback because we have our two guys. But, you got to bring in all those players for the training camp and preseason. So you never know. They might just sign an undrafted free agent and, bring a guy in to be on the practice squad. We really need someone decent on the practice squad, but there's a risk there, because another team could sign him off the practice squad if we don't protect him.
I kind of think there's a good potential possibility that Brock Purdy comes in on the season on IR.
I don't know if they have to put him on. If they put him on IR, he has to take a 53-man spot before they put him on IR. So I don't know if they're able to do that, or if they're able to put him on the PUP list. I don't quite know the rules and what's actually going to go down there.
Yeah, and I think if they do go on the IR, I think they have to be out for four weeks at least. Hey, Korey, show off that cup.
Good morning. Hey,
Good
David.
morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So yes, again, if you guys, can send me a screenshot in my email, or you can put it on, we'll figure it out on my Twitter or something when we get to 100. I'll make the notifications then, but we'll do a cup giveaway. We'll make it big, and whoever gets a cup, we'll make sure there's no hole in the bottom of it, so it'll hold liquid, right? And we'll do something neat. But if you like that cup that Korey showed you, or the cup that David showed you, that's the kind of stuff that we can do. So, Korey, what do you think? You think we're drafting a kicker? Do you think we're going for an undrafted free agent? Or do you think Zane's the man?
I think we're going to go for undrafted kicker. I think we're going to bring him in, and then have him a competition with Zane. Him two going to compete.
Yeah. I think they're going to compete. I think if you just bring in somebody and they don't compete, it's not really healthy for your team. It's really, really not. So we got YTC.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So remember how everyone was making a big deal about Shanahan talking about, we're rolling with two QBs. So this is a quote from Shanahan from yesterday. We've got 3 quarterbacks we're pretty good with right now. And we're pretty set with how we've built our roster salary cap wise. So if that doesn't answer your question on, why we're rolling with 2 QBs right now, because we have 2 QBs, then there you go. You know what I mean? all kinds of people are like, oh, 2 quarterbacks. They're going to cut Sam Darnold or trade Trey Lance. No, that's not what that means. Quit reading too much into it.
Good morning, Tony Culp.
Good morning, Korey Davis, the man, the myth, the legend. And if you don't know, Korey has a great YouTube channel, and you guys go check him out. He does trivia, and he does weekly picks, and he does hangout shows, and just overall, he's got a great channel. So please go and subscribe to Korey Davis. Korey, you'll be doing a show tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right. So I think yeah. So hopefully we see you guys all there, because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So what do you guys think about DTR from UCLA? He's the quarterback with 2 last names. I kind of like him. If you got 2 last names, you got 1, right? And right now we have 2 quarterbacks, so we don't have 1. So I'm just trying to, meet in the middle, right? We just go after that guy, and then we'll have 1 quarterback. I think we could actually get him as an undrafted free agent. I think that would be kind of cool. And then again, he's a California guy, so I like it when the Niners bring California guys in.
Well, I honestly know that we like bringing in the guys that no one's ever heard of. You know what I mean? And we don't know if we're going to bring him in, some other quarterback. Either way, another quarterback will be added to the roster for the 90 men. But that doesn't mean they're actually going to be capable of making the team. And if he goes undrafted, which none of us know who's going to go undrafted yet, then there's a good chance the Niners will sign him.
Korey,
Jeff wrote a Niner rap, and if you want, I'll read this out. He says, Korey, I'd like to add in, as well as your husband and anyone in my Niner rap, the GOAT. So he might be talking about maybe somebody else, because I don't think Korey has a husband.
No, I don't.
But Jeff was doing his Niner rap last night on the show, so if you guys get a chance, you might be able to check that out. And I'm sure he'll come on again here soon, and he'll rap again and let us hear a song. See, that's what's fun about our fans, is we have so many passionate fans out there. They can come up with, cool raps, songs, poems. You can come up with hats, cups, YouTube content. There's so much out there, because fans, what is a fan? A fanatic, right? So don't get mad when we geek out and we see you out there. We just want to, say, hey, you're great, and we support you, and we hate you when you leave, but we're glad you're here, right? So sounds like YTC is going to the Giant Yankee game. So hope he gets to watch the Giants win today. That'd be a great game. Yeah, Giants and Yankees have been battling out for the last couple of days, so that's cool. Giants came from New York, so if people didn't know that was a long time ago, though. Yeah, hey, the chat is popping today. Tommy just says, I got you beat 5 Super Bowls and 3 World Series. Yep, the Niners, we do. We have 5 and the 3 World Series. Okay. YGC's been a fan for 7 years, since high school. Okay. And, yep. YouTube sucks, but, you got to be somewhere. And, there's Twitter. They can go live there, and there's Instagram and TikTok. But I'm trying the YouTube things, checking it out. I like YouTube. I've been on YouTube since about 2014, going on shows and listening to it. And what's fun for me is, like, you turn it on and, there's a chat. Well, the chat's great. But then you can turn it on, and you can just, act like it's radio and just listen to it. It's talk radio or however you want to go. So, like, for me, my wife and me, we would be in the house in the evening, enjoying a cup of coffee, or, just enjoying each other. And we'd start coloring. We bought a lot of different coloring books. We will sit there and we'll color pencil and listen to Rombo or, Nothing But Niners. There's all kinds of great shows out there. And, as the years went, more and more shows got out there, and you can jump around a little bit more. So it's a lot of fun for me. But let me pop in Jon Jay. He just got here, and I'd like to say good morning to him as well. Good morning, John.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, John.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Morning,
David.
Let me ask you too, John. What do you think? You think Zane Gonzalez is just a camp leg, or you think we're bringing in somebody to compete with him?
Yeah, I think we're bringing in somebody else. There are maybe 3 kickers I like that the Niners can draft late in the 6-7 round that are worth good kickers. My favorite kicker, maybe I'm just biased, but is the Maryland kicker. He's the only kicker in this draft that has kicked 50 plus yard field goals 9 times in his college career. I know that doesn't say much, but for 21, 22 kicking the field goal, it's college. I get it. So he's a good kicker. Jake Moody, played at Michigan, always produced good players in that school. So the Niners should look into bring in another kicker. But if they're very comfortable with this kicker, that's the Niners. I would rather have Gold than this guy. I've been watching a lot of highlights of our new kicker. He's an 84% kicker, career percentage. That's not good, and I rag on Robbie Gold. At least Robbie Gold's a 90% kicker. So when you're 84%, that's kind of scary. So I would bring somebody in for competition.
Yeah, definitely. Competition makes you compete. It makes you stay on your toes. It makes you know, oh man, if I'm not the best, they're not going to keep me. It's not just about my pretty face and my personality. So you got to compete and you got to perform. So I agree. So hey, I know you scout quarterbacks a little bit, and I kind of threw this out. It's a little bit of a joke, but what do you think about the DTR quarterback? And if you didn't hear my joke, I'm gonna say it again. DTR from UCLA. He's a quarterback, and he's got 2 last names. So I think we're winning if we get him, right? Because if you got 2 last names, you have 1. We have 2 quarterbacks right now, possibly 3, and we have none.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your thoughts on UCLA DTR? Have you heard of him?
Yeah, so I watch a lot of Pac-12 football because I'm a Cal Berkeley fan. So UCLA is our third rival, but I watched him play. He's good. I wouldn't say he's a transcending talent. He's more like a career backup, someone who can play in the NFL. That's all I could say about him. I haven't scouted him too much, but I watched him play. But again, he's not a transcending quarterback. He's someone who who has quality arm strength. Doesn't stretch the field too much. UCLA, they're not really known for a pro style offense. His coach was Chip Kelly, which that's a big thing. I would avoid anything from Chip Kelly. So, but if we do bring him, it's because that SF, LA, UCLA, Cal tie. For whatever the reason, those 2 schools have big ties with one another, and also the region has a big tie. We've had a bunch of UCLA quarterbacks, not big transcending, and that's all I can say about him.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited because like what DTR said too, he is fast and he does have good touch on the ball. So, if they were going to get him and they could get him undrafted or something like that, that would be kind of really neat. We could maybe even stash him on the practice squad if I stop talking about him right now. I know they're listening, so if we stop, let's not talk about him anymore because we want the Niners to get him, right? Our secret weapon. Anytime a quarterback comes out and people hear about him, then they're like, "Oh man!" And then you put him on the practice squad. Well, they yank him up real quick, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll just cut a linebacker or something. We'll make room, right?" Well, can't always make room for players. Sometimes you have to line up with what you got, and that's why we lose players sometimes to Seattle and other division opponents because they scoop up off on our practice squad guys. So,
yep, like DJ Reed.
Yeah. Yeah,
they cut him on an injury waiver, and John Lynch was probably thinking, oh, he'll make it through waivers, we'll get him back, and Seattle said nope.
Nope. Pete Carroll chewing that gum said nope. He stopped for 1 second to say no. Probably didn't even stop in mid chew. Oh, hey, yeah, I don't know if you guys know, and I'm pretty sure this is the truth. Can anybody take a random guess at what kind of gum Pete Carroll chews?
Isn't it like extra wintergreen?
Yeah, it's like winter fresh. Yep.
Yeah, what's his name? Seahawks Eddie. He told us.
That's funny. And that's what's cool because again, we're fanatics, right? So, the more that we learn about a team, the more we can like, oh wow, and then you can talk to another player, another fan, and you get to tell them, hey, this is what I know, and you get to learn something new. That's why it's always great. You get to learn something new every day if you just listen for it. David, I don't know what's going up there, but now you're back. You pixeled out bad. It was like disco.
Well, I'm not at work. So normally when I'm running these machines, they make a lot of steam from the cutting fluid, and it's just I just got to cough it out. So I just mic'd myself and killed my camera while I did that instead of coughing in everyone's ears.
Oh, I appreciate it, but it was your screen fluttered for a second. I was like, oh no, power outage. That's my side, okay? You can't have power outages on your side. If you guys didn't
Yeah, I'm
know,
in believe it or not, the power grid where I live is really good. Like someone will hit a pole, take it out, take the wires out. My power flashes, but it comes right back on. I mean, it's like, it depends on where you live, though. If you're in the very rural areas where there's not much, where there's not much infrastructure, if someone takes out those lines, you're going to be out of power. But if you're in the city area on the Wasatch Front, which is the general vicinity of where I live, then you're not going to be without power for long at all.
I got to shout out Paul Hope. He's our friend. He's our faithful. He's our brother from the other side. He is holding it down in the UK. And if you haven't seen his show, go please subscribe. It's I want to say, and forgive me, Paul, if you can put it in the chat, I'll shout it out the correct term. But I want to say it's 49 Faithful UK. But again, please go check out his show. He's got a great group of guys, a good panel, and he's on. If you follow Paul, you'll see him on Twitter. He's great, and one day I look forward to meeting Paul. Hopefully, one day I can meet him at Levi's when he gets to come through one day. So, shout out to everybody in the chat. We got a great chat today. We really do. Yes, this is a residency cap. If you guys don't know, residency is a cap. It's a sports company. They make ball caps for different cities. It's called residency because they want you to have pride for the area that you live in. So if you're a Niner fan, they do Niner colors. They also have the same logo for SF for the Giants, and they do it in Giant colors. At Las Vegas, they have their LV, so it won't say, it's their script, their stenciling. It's a really nice hat, really thorough, really thick. This was a Christmas hat for me. I'm very, very proud to have it. It was this one or the red and white one, and my wife and my daughter, they both know good guys wear white caps. So they got me this one, and it's one of my favorite hats. So let's keep going on, guys. So John, if you are able to make a pick right now, and you're picking 99, are you picking best player available, or do you have an eye for somebody right now, or are you going to wait for the cards to fall? What do you think?
So if I was Niners GM and I had the 99th pick, I would look at, of course, the 49ers big board, like who, is still there that we want, or who's the best available player at a specific position. So that's the first thing I would do. I will go with edge rusher. Because I think, we did sign, the former Raiders edge rusher. We have Drake Jackson, but we still have to have depth there. So that's what I would do. I would go edge rusher. And one player who I really like is McGarry. McGuire from Mizzou or Missouri. That's who I would go.
Yeah, Yeah. All right. Let me welcome in Ryan, and I'll ask Ryan a couple questions as well. And if anybody in the chat has questions or anybody on the panel has questions, feel free to ask them. Ryan, you were here earlier. First off, good morning.
Thank you.
And
you sure
then
that's Ryan?
I know you were here earlier.
Oh, it's Ryan.
You sure it's not 96?
Ryan, no
worries.
It's Ryan.
I know, I'll just mess with you.
Yeah, right. Because if you guys seen the show last night, it was funny because I started watching every time Beto was talking. He had the little icon of Ryan down there, no more sports. And Ryan would start talking. I would keep looking at Beto because it was the picture of him, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Beto's funny. You guys got to watch out for him. He is. And if you don't know about him, please subscribe to his channel. It's Niner Sickness. He does a lot of good stuff. I think tonight he's having a trivia show.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. If you
Yes,
guys, if you guys can make it, it's a lot of fun. He'll ask questions, and then he has this duck race at the end. I'm not going to ruin the show. Please show up. It's a lot of fun at the end. You can win. So tune in. I think it starts. I want to say it's 5:15 or it might be 7. I'll have to find out for sure.
bye.
But Paul Hope, real quick, I wanted to give his channel a shout out. It is 49er Faithful UK. So if you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do so. He does have a great show. It's in the UK. It's a little bit different than American football, but it's still American football they're talking about. So please go subscribe, and you'll meet some people. You'll meet some people that have a lot of good insight and different perspectives. So, all right, Ryan. So my question, you kind of were asking it back to me, was like kickers. So do you think Zane is going to get competition, or do you think we're just going to see? What do you think? What's your thoughts?
Zane is definitely getting competition. I just don't know. Because think about it. There's like 3 or 4 teams that might need a kicker, that might even think about drafting one. How many did you name off? You named like 5 or 6.
Yeah, there's the Packers, the Rams, the Niners, Vikings, Cowboys, Colts, Panthers, Cardinals, Commanders, Jets, Titans. The one I'm afraid of is New England. I think New England's going to draft a kicker early. And then you still have the Jaguars.
So you think all those teams need kickers now, huh?
Yeah.
And Robbie Gould hasn't fell anywhere. Why? I thought only 2 teams needed kickers like 2 weeks ago.
These are prospective free agents. So this list could have changed just a little bit, but these are all kickers that went into with their teams as free agents. So if these teams have already adjusted or made contracts, that's where it's at. But there's definitely, like you said, 2 really needy kicking teams, and then all these others are in the mix. And I think the Patriots are our biggest competition for kicker at this time. Oh, and the Cowboys.
And you know how they are about kickers. They had Adam Vinatieri for how long?
Yeah. So they're gonna spend big on one. I could see them, making Nick Moody their Janikowski.
Okay.
So, and then what would your thoughts be like? Oh, I know we and you kind of joke about it, but we don't have to say we don't have to say DTR, but if you're drafting a quarterback or going for an undrafted free agent, what quarterback would you like to see fall to the Niners? Even if it's just a camp arm or somebody that you might want the Niners to keep. Is there a quarterback in this year's draft that you're interested in?
You're talking to me?
Yep.
Stetson Bennett.
Ooh.
He has essentially the same resume as Brock Purdy. Not saying he's the same as Brock Purdy. I'm saying if you want somebody who has been in all the same situations as Brock Purdy, and you think that Brock Purdy was molded by all the situations he's put in, Stetson Bennett's been all through those same situations, and he's started almost as many games. I think they 4-year starters, both of them. They lost big games. They won big games. So, I mean, if you think Brock Purdy was a success because of everything he had accomplished in college, Stetson Bennett's another guy. He's got a national champion. He's not expected to go anywhere in the first 3 rounds. You know what I mean? If that guy's not coming into the league with a chip on his shoulder, just like Brock Purdy, I don't know who is.
Yeah, and that's sometimes a good thing too. Is when a player comes in with a chip on their shoulder, they have they feel compelled to prove everyone wrong because everybody's already saying they're wrong to begin with. So, are you going to sit? Are you going to step up? Or are you going to sit down? So, I like that point. I definitely like that point. I would like to see them address the quarterback situation, even if it's just a camp arm. I definitely would like to see that because if it's somebody that's unknown, or maybe we keep it unknown or quiet enough, we might be able to keep them on our practice squad. So I like that thoughts. And I really, it's kind of hard for me. I know you brought this up and other people's brought it up. And this is a question to everybody. How many quarterbacks do we really keep in on this team this year? I can't see us not keeping three. At this point, Purdy's coming in. He's going to be hurt. I don't see them trading Trey Lance, and I don't see them getting rid of Sam Darnold. So I see us at least going into week 1 with 3 quarterbacks. What do you think, David?
I honestly see us good. Well, when it comes to training camp, OTAs, right now we have our 2 guys. When it comes to the rookie quarterback situation, I really don't see us. I mean, if we draft a guy, then we're going to draft him, cut him, and put him on the practice squad. Because, I mean, Kyle's not going to. The only way he carries 3 quarterbacks on the roster is if Brock Purdy's healthy. Because if you look at the history, he's always carried 2. So, at this point, some people are talking about Stinson Bennett, and that's all good and everything, but we already have Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, and Sam Darnold. So when it comes to quarterback needs, I don't think we actually need anything. But, Trey Lance needs reps. That's one thing that needs to happen.
We didn't know we needed an extra quarterback last year until Josh Johnson got knocked out of the national.
Oh my goodness! And just the fact that Josh Johnson looked like a deer in the headlights, he was not prepared to actually play.
He should have not.
That's a big issue right there. So, yeah. And that's why I think Kyle Shanahan's saying we're going to start splitting the first team reps between quarterbacks, is because he wants his quarterbacks to be ready because of how Josh Johnson looked. I mean, that only makes sense. You got to have your guys ready to rock, and Josh Johnson wasn't.
I don't know. I think Sam Darnold probably would hold himself better in that situation. It seems like Sam Darnold's been in worse situations more recent than Josh Johnson had. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna have it broken down. I'm gonna come back next Saturday. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I don't know. But we're gonna come back and we're gonna have the roster breakdowns of all the quarterbacks that's been on the team since 2017. I'm pretty sure that we've had more than 3 quarterbacks every season. I'm pretty sure. So for him to come out and say this year he doesn't want to keep more than 2, I don't believe him. I really don't. You can't physically do it at this time. And I think Boomer T brings up a good point. I think we had 3 quarterbacks last year without counting Josh Johnson. And then when Josh Johnson comes in, he's quarterback 4. And honestly, guys, the only reason he got brought in is because he's a Kyle guy. Kyle's like, oh, I know he can study good and he'll be able to pick up my offense. And he already has half of it. But when he came into the game, that guy was scared. I didn't even warm up. Where's my mouthpiece? Where's my helmet? You are the quarterback. It doesn't matter if you're 4th, 3rd, 2nd, you need to be ready at any given moment to come into the game. And if you're standing on the field and you're suited up, you need to be ready. That's one of those things. It's like when I was in high school, I'm not the best player. It's just me being my own type of person. But when the guys are, watching the practice and we're not actually, scrimmaging, we're standing on the sidelines and coach is trying to give out his, what he's doing and saying what we're going to be doing here and there. And you got guys over here pushing each other around. Hey, I know it's fun. This is high school. We're not getting paid. But if you're serious about it, you got to pay attention a little bit. So for me, I drop down, take a knee, and I'm paying attention to the plays. I'm trying to listen. I was the 3rd string quarterback. I'm trying to listen to what the cadence are coming out. I'm trying to pay attention. Hey, if coach wants me to go on and practice, I want to be like, hey, he said Bryant, I'm in there now. So for Josh Johnson not to be ready in a professional job, a career, the biggest game of probably his career, very sorry. I'm very, 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 very sorry and disappointed. I think I wish he would have give a little bit better of an effort. Like, I'm sorry, you took your eyes off the ball. You took your eyes off the ball and you fumbled the ball. We were in that game. It was 7-7, and we were still in that game. And then he fumbled, and that's when you seen the everybody on the sidelines. And then after that, the Niners just wanted to beat the Eagles up. And just, we're not going to win, but we're going to still hit you hard. What do you think, Korey? Oh, you're muted, Korey.
Oh.
Yeah, oh. I muted myself because I'm almost falling asleep. So I said, ooh, I didn't want to be snoring. Yeah, it's just like I've been saying this before. When Purdy went down, we lost. I knew that Johnson wasn't a person. I was like, oh, I was praying that they would have suited up Jimmy. I was praying for that, but it didn't happen. We went out there with Johnson, and I knew he wasn't ready for this. I could see when he walked out there. I'm like, oh, goodness. Here you go. You don't look like he's confident. And we throw that ball, and I hit the receivers, and I'm like, oh, goodness. It's going to be for us to win this game, the defense is going to have to do a lot of scoring. Or like if CMC, like he got that touchdown, and Debo could have stepped up more and got the ball and run it in.
What do you think, John? How do you feel
about the quarterback situation?
Yeah, like the Josh Johnson situation, the overall keep 3 quarterbacks. What do you think? Are we keeping 3 quarterbacks? Do you think we need 4? Your overall, what's your kind of gist of the Shanahan plan?
Well, first of all, Josh Johnson should retire. Should not put any NFL uniform on. Okay. Now, I rewatched John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan's press conference, so I can make sure I listen to everything, that I, didn't miss any little information. And the biggest thing that, that I got and basically what I took word by word from Kyle was that if Brock Purdy didn't get injury, he would have been quarterback number 1. He would have been the starting quarterback. That's what he sounded like. Unfortunately, he got hurt and he needed surgery. Okay, which is common sense. Like Brock Purdy technically is undefeated. The loss because he broke his his elbow, so he's technically undefeated. And when you have a quarterback who's good like Brock Purdy, he deserves that. Possibly being named the quarterback number 1. But at the same time, he still is doing this back and forth, little tiddly tad, whatever, saying Sam Darnold and Trey Lance are going to take time with the first team, the reps. Like, I don't know why he does that. And so what I came up as a conclusion by listening to Kyle Shanahan's 5 other press conferences, just 5 random press conferences, and listen to his recent press conference, is that he loves to manipulate the media for whatever the reason. I think he really believes that if he says anything that gives away, any information that, the media say, all right, they're going to start crowning this quarterback. I believe that Sam Darnold is the backup. He does have a contract clause where he plays, and he can make up to $7.45 million if he plays, as a starter. Trey Lance, it seems that they're not highly praising him for whatever the reason. And I'm scratching my head like, okay, then you drafted this guy, you traded up, future picks for this guy. You were saying this guy was the future, and now you're saying, that Sam Darnold could be the starter, Brock Purdy can come back and ball out, but you're not talking about the kid you drafted third overall. Is there a shift? What is going on? So my conclusion is that either he's playing the media, or Trey Lance, during the practices, during this time with the Niners, Kyle has realized, I need a quarterback who can still play in the pocket and not be a runner. I could be wrong, but I'm just going from what I heard, and what I feel is that, and I feel bad for the kid. Like, I like Lance. I don't think he was given a fair shot. I think, he was treated even horribly with our own fan base. I don't know why. But at the end of the day, I just want Trey Lance to get that job and not give it back. I want him to prove not just to himself, but to Kyle and the fan base that I was a third overall pick. So, and he even said to Rich Eisen during the Super Bowl, I don't want Kyle to give me the job. I want to earn it. That's a mature quarterback.
Yeah, great point, John. Great point. I agree. And yeah, you were saying facts. Trey Lance needs to earn the job. He wants to earn the job. Him saying that, I'm like, that's the guy, right? That's what we want our guy to say. It's what we want to hear our quarterback say. I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it because I'm going to earn it. Last year when they give him the job, I wasn't too happy. It's not because we still had Jimmy. It wasn't because we were trying to trade Jimmy. I don't like the fact that you're giving somebody their position. For me, I have no issue with Trey Lance. I think he's going to be great. I want him to be great. The Niners drafted him. Let's roll, right? Let's roll, whatever, right? It's not Broncos, right? So we don't do that here. But with Trey Lance, it doesn't matter if it's Trey Lance or anybody. If you're not the best player available, if you're not the ready, for me, I don't want you on the field then. I know you need to practice, and I know you need to get reps. So you should practice. Maybe go out and practice. Maybe get a couple guys after practice to go and practice. I don't know what you need to do. Maybe go talk to the coaches and figure out how you can get better because you need the reps. But I don't think draft capital contract should decide on whether or not you start or not. You look at, Drew Bledsoe. You look at Tom Brady. Drew Bledsoe didn't get his job back. You look at Alex Smith and Kaepernick. Kaepernick got hurt. He didn't get his job. Alex got hurt. He didn't get his job back. So it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, you're our first pick or we spent this much money on you. At the end of the day, that doesn't matter because they'll pay whatever they have to pay. They'll spend whatever they have to spend to win. So if they go up 3 draft picks to get somebody and they have them on their team and that prevents another team from getting that player, maybe, that's the underlying right there is we didn't want Trey to go to Atlanta or we didn't want Trey to go to, another team. And we were thinking that sometime throughout his history or his time with the Niners, we're going to be able to get him in and get enough reps. So for me, I'm a big Trey Lance fan. I would love to see the guy come out, play quarterback, not play running back. I think there's a lot of issues on why he played the way he played the last couple of years. Ryan and me talked about it a little bit last night on his show, and we've talked about it before. The guy's gotten injured, and instead of him being injured where he can't play, sorry, little girls, instead of him being so injured where he couldn't play, they put him out there. Now, for me, if I have a broken finger and they tell me to go out there and play, I'm probably going to go out there and play because that's what the coach wants me to do, and I'm going to try. There might be a chance I can do it. Brock Purdy went back in with a torn UCL. So the players are listening to the coaches, and they are definitely going out there if they're hurt or not. But I think his problem is he's just been hurt too many times where we haven't been able to use his abilities, his athleticism. They limited him. When you have a broken finger, you can't throw the ball the right way. When you have a hurt knee, you can't run right. When you have a broken ankle, I mean, it is what it is. So I think is his job right now. I think he needs to go in and try to win this. He has Sam Darnold to compete with, and he right now, yes, Sam Darnold seems to be favored because they tried to draft him, they tried to trade for him. Kyle likes him. He's a USC guy, so there's a lot of things going, and he's played a lot of games for 2 different teams already, so he has a lot of reps, and he's seen a lot of different defensive looks. So Trey does have somebody to compete against, and if he can beat out Sam Darnold, let's go. If he doesn't, I'm not saying trade him. I'm not cut him. I'm let's fix him. What do we have to do to get him where he's ready? Because you guys have seen him. He can throw that ball from one end of the field to the other end, and we just got to get him right. So whatever we have to do, change his batteries, whatever we have to do, I'd like to see the Niners somehow get behind Trey Lance. And they don't have to overwhelmingly get behind him because, again, just because he's your draft capital, he's your player of the future. If someone's outperforming him, then you kind of have to go with the hot hand. And that's my thoughts on it. Does anybody have anything that they would like to elaborate to that?
Well, that's what Kyle always does, is goes with the hot hand. And, we've always started slow. So if Trey Lance comes in and wins 3 out of the first 4 games, I don't see them just inserting Brock Purdy and benching him. So I'm hoping the kid comes in and, gets reps and starts playing good right off the bat. I mean, right now, Brock Purdy has 8 starts. Yeah, that's all good and everything. Now the league has tape on him, so they're going to be able to combat what he does that makes him good. So how is he going to adjust to that situation? That's something. This is all yet to be seen. So Trey Lance, the league does not have much on him. So at this point in time, we have to see the same thing with him. How is he going to adjust when the league does have tape on what he does good and combats it? That's what separates the men from the boys, is when the league adjusts to you, how do you adjust to keep them off balance?
I'm going to get ready to end this show, guys. So let me go ahead and get everybody's real quick opinion. And this will be the last question of the day. And we'll go from there. And I'll give you guys my dad joke. Today we had a couple of dad jokes. But we'll end the show with a dad joke. But really quickly, I'm going to start with Korey over there. True or false? Do you think, and not a true or false question, it's just an opinion. Does Sam Darnold see Ghost? And will he continue to see Ghost with the 49ers?
Well, I hope not. I hope he stops seeing ghosts like I see the ghosts. But
right, you said that last night.
I hope you don't see a ghost like I saw a ghost. Because if you see ghosts, you're gonna be panic, having panic feats. You're gonna be like Jimmy G with the panic feats.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
You better not see ghosts. Because I know I was looking at my sister-in-law, then I turned around to my left to go back in my room. And I like this, I saw somebody walking down the hall. I'm like this. Oh, there ain't nobody there. Ooh, I'm seeing things. Korey's going crazy. I'm being the Sam Darnold. Seeing ghosts.
What do you think, John? You think he's gonna still see ghosts, or you think Kyle's like a exorcist? What do you think?
I personally, in my opinion, I think he either said that as a joke, because if I see a ghost, and again, this is just Jon Jay, I've never seen a ghost in my life. If I ever see a ghost, I will just leave it alone, because I wouldn't call myself a superstitious person. That is a former human being. It's a former human being, and they just want to be left alone. So that's a little advice that I went to a religious school. That's what they always say. But let's go back to the football. Sam Darnold is an upgrade over Jimmy. Three reasons. He has a good arm. He can move around in the pocket. He's a better runner than Carr. Like if you've ever watched Carr, but he's not as fast. But he can avoid. So that's the second thing. Okay. And he has good pocket awareness. He can stay in the pocket. When the pocket breaks down, he doesn't have happy feet like Jimmy. And he can survey the field when that pocket's and he can get that ball out there. That's why I like Sam Darnold. He's a really I wouldn't say he's the best quarterback in the NFL, but he's an upgrade. I don't think he sees ghosts. I think he was joking around. Of course, his coach was Adam Gase, who I don't know what he was looking at if you ever saw that press conference. So maybe he was just having an Adam Gase moment. But overall, again, I'm not saying Sam Darnold is going to take that job from Trey or Purdy. I think he's going to make great competition. I think Purdy, if he's able to, get some work in like late in training camp, or if Trey Lance is going to, for the first time, have a quarterback that's going to push him, and he's better than Jimmy. His name is Sam Darnold. So I'm happy that Darnold is on the squad.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you think, man?
Hey, Trina, this guy, if you think that people haven't tried to coddle him and, make him feel better about himself ever since he entered the league and started having issues, and he's switched all these teams, what do you think his new team wasn't like? No, we see a lot in him. Oh, he's a great guy. Oh, we're going to, give him the environment he needs. How'd that work out for him? Now he's in San Francisco. Answer is A, Trina.
Well, okay. So he went 5-2 in Carolina, right? And he did get benched for Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield also got kicked off the team too, right? So then they lost their coach who came to San Francisco, and they seem like they brought like 4 Panther players with them. So I agree. I definitely agree. I want to hear David, and I'm going to give my my ending to it. What do you think, David? All right, we're coming back to David. So with that, I think the Niners, I think he said it to be funny a little bit. I don't think he knew how big or extensive it was going to get blown out of proportion. When you come out and you say you see a ghost and you're the quarterback and you're absolutely throwing to nobody, that's alarming. Or, somebody's running behind you and you think you're getting tackled or sacked. That's a little alarming.
Well, you take headshots in the NFL, and if you took a headshot and you're hallucinating, you need to take yourself out of the game. You know what I mean? So It's just I've seen some things in the in my peripheral vision here and there that make me wonder if I've seen ghosts, but I don't know. It's just one of those things.
I think I've seen ghosts before. I'm pretty confident I have. I don't want to be one of those guys like, oh yeah, I've seen it, but I've seen some weird stuff. I think I have one in my house currently. If you guys ever watching a stream and I lose power, well, the ghost got me. I can go to my stove and turn it on and all my lights will come back on. So something's not grounded right there. It's one of those things. But again, if you come out and you're rushing the play because you're afraid, and then you say stuff and it's obvious that you're afraid, and you come out and say you see ghost, everybody, if you guys want to join me sometime in the summer, we can walk around Levi Stadium with some sage or something. They say that we're built on an Indian burial ground, so I hope that's not true. We have had a lot of bad luck there, but I don't think Levi's is haunted, and I don't think Sam really seen ghosts. I just think he chose the wrong phrase to say at the time. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think he's going to come in and beat out Lance, but if he does, all right, let's go. I just want to win a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, I don't care who's it. I just want to win a Super Bowl. So, guys, Thank you for coming. Let's do this again. We got a lot of people in the chat. It was a great chat, great show. Appreciate every one of you. Sorry if I didn't get anybody who wanted to jump on. I didn't drop the link in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and put this dad joke out here. So if you guys want to see it before we leave.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so the question is, what do football players wear on Halloween? Face mask.
Yeah, that's true though. They do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drop one more. I was gonna save this one, but I really got a kick out of this one. Which two teams played in the Pirate Super Bowl?
The Seahawks or the Broncos? The Seahawks.
Which two teams? No, Korey. Which two teams played in the Pirate Super Bowl?
The Buccaneers and the Raiders.
The Seahawks and the Broncos. I might have messed that one up, but we'll work on that one again.
The Pirates Super Bowl?
I don't think that's.
I think it was the Broncos. I messed that one up. But hey, that's why you keep coming back, because the jokes get better, right? And with that,
guys, I would have went with Raiders and Buccaneers because a Raider is sort of kind of like a Buccaneer.
I wrote it too fast. It was supposed to be the Seahawks and Buccaneers. I wrote Broncos because I wear glasses and have fat fingers.
Wait.
No worries. It happens.
But how does
Seahawks,
Buccaneers
Seahawks,
and
Pirates
Seahawks work?
Seahawk. They're a pirate. They're a Seahawk. What two pirate teams?
Oh, wow.
The Seahawks. So it's a play on words. Not the best joke. I get it. Womp, womp, womp. But hey, that's, again, why we keep coming back, because the jokes get either better or you guys go, what the hell did Bryant just say? And again, appreciate it, everybody. Everybody have a great Saturday. And once again, we'll see you again. Bring a cup of coffee next Saturday. We'll be here. Thank you.
Go Niners.
Go Niners.
Go Niners.